Now we're here with Darryl Mikulec, Technical Director, Maverick Applied Science. As Maverick's Technical Director, you've given a number of presentations in addition to Jeff's. How long have you been presenting for?
Well, the forum's been going on since 2016, so at least then, presented at every forum. Been with Maverick since 2006. I think probably 2009 is when I first started presenting for Maverick. So that's, pretty green, is probably 25 years old at that time. But it's funny, sort of tying into why we do the forum, is I can remember, stressing out for those presentations and planning and prepping and everything. And then you'd end up presenting, and there are these big conferences, and then there are these little subsets for just like the non-metallics people. And we just got sort of lost in the shuffle of these big conferences. And you present at these conferences time and time again, and you end up presenting to like the same people over and over again. So it's like, I don't really feel like we're getting bang for our buck here just by presenting to the same people over and over again. So I think that really ties into why we do the forum, so we can actually have a dedicated 2 days just where we're talking about non-metallics.
What does a level of engagement look like after each presentation? Is there a lot of Q&A?
Well, as presenters, we sort of gauge how good of a presentation we did by the questions we get. If you don't get any questions, you're like, well, you just bored them to tears, so you don't feel good about that. But if you get too many questions, you're like, well, I didn't actually cover that topic well enough. So, it's funny with Q&As or in the expert panel session at the end, sometimes you just got to break the seal of the question. Like, a lot of people have questions they're afraid to ask, but once somebody sort of breaks the seal and asks that initial question, then it sort of flows into more questions. We love answering questions because a lot of times we either feel like, okay, maybe we didn't have enough time to cover that topic, or we can nail down a little bit more about a specific issue that somebody's been having. So it's pretty frequent to get good engagement, good Q&A, either in our presentations or at the end of the expert panel session.
What do you personally feel is the forum's biggest value proposition?
Well, having a 2-day sort of one-stop shop for non-metallics, I think, is a great benefit, because when I go to these conferences, one of the first things you do is you look at the schedule and you're flagging certain presentations. You're like, okay, I'm going to do that one here. Okay, this hour, there's really nothing that I really care about. So you sort of develop that way. But I think with our forum just being all on non-metallics, it's like our goal is that every single hour is something that you want to actually watch and hear what the presenter has to say.
After an attendee leaves the forum, what do you think sticks with them the most from the experience?
So when I present, I like to, and sometimes I even say, maybe this isn't good presenting, I should probably take a class on that. But sometimes I'll even say, it's like, if you don't remember anything else from this presentation, like, this is the point I'm trying to get across. So I try to have this like one theme that you sort of keep coming back to. So just so if you have 10 things, it's hard for people to remember 10 things. So I try to have 1 or 2 maybe points. But also I think people leaving the forum also understand there's a community of people that have answers, because a lot of the attendees are just maybe in an office building, an engineering building, or just on their own site, and they don't realize there's a lot of resources out there. So I think they leave with at least knowing that, hey, I got business cards for this guy that knows FRP, this guy that knows thermoplastics, this is a gasket guy, this is an expansion joint guy. So I think they leave with that, which gives them a lot more tools when they go back to their everyday life and encountering some of the issues with non-metallics.
What kind of professionals do you think benefit the most from attending?
Well, we do this for plant engineers, so we get a lot of attendees that are just engineers. They could be newer engineers, they could be more experienced engineers that are just trying to learn more about non-metallics, but also the end users, people at the plant level, the maintenance people. They get a lot of value out of coming to the forum as well. It's always funny to see sort of these interactions when you get to the expert panels or between sessions or at lunch or at the mixers at night. You start to see, like, they start connecting dots, or like they think maybe this issue that they experience, like they're on an island, like nobody else experiences this, and then you start talking about these things during the expert panel sessions or Q&As, where they start to see, oh, that guy's having that same issue. Maybe they get a solution to the problem that they're having. So those types of people that don't really get to network outside of their normal places of business or operation, they find out that there's a resource group out there. There's other people with similar experiences that they can just draw on. So I think those types of people who don't get out much, honestly, would really benefit from coming to the forum.
If you had to describe the forum in 5 words, which ones would you choose?
Oh boy. 5 words. All right. I'm not good at this, but okay. Well, forum has 5 letters, so we're gonna go through this. Let's figure it out. F, foundational. It is good for people. I mean, we try to do this so people of all experience levels can get something out of the forum. So it is, there are some foundational presentations just to give people a little bit more education. So I would say foundational. One-stop shop for 2-day crash course in non-metallics. This is more than 5 words, but here we go. R, really good presentations. U, usually around Memorial Day. And the M, Maverick. So Maverick, the name Maverick is sort of pioneering, sort of leading the industry. So there's nobody else that does something like this. And I think people are drawn to that, and that's why they keep coming back every year to see what new content we have to share. So that's a lot more than 5 words, but I made it through that acrostic.
Well, I hope that inspires you to attend the Plant Engineers Forum for Non-Metallics. Make sure to go to maverickappliedscience.com/forum to register.